All right,
So
what's up?
this,
Oh man, so what's up, guys? I know I've mentioned him about I don't know 70% of the time I've made videos, but this is the man, the myth, the legend. This is my trainer and my good friend. I've known him for 3 years. He's been training me for about 3 years. Not really training me for 3 years. You could say that he's been training me off and on because sometimes I walk away from the situation. But a lot of people have been asking me about who this guy is. I keep mentioning him, and I felt like it'd be a good time for me to bring him into the conversation. And I think the best way to do it would be to incorporate what our conversations are like. Because sometimes you hear me talk about a story, but you know, every story has two sides. So I figured getting an idea of where he's coming from, his perspective, his position on what it means to be healthy, could really help a lot of people, myself included. So I know you want to start off with a recap of the week.
so how did your week go?
Well, drama aside, I think nutritionally speaking, I think I've been doing a better job this week versus last week of reporting my end of day numbers. I know sometimes you pointed out that when I would make a meal and I would post a meal, that would be it, and then I would talk about my end of day, but I wouldn't actually have any real information with my end of day. It would just be what my nutrition was. So you'd have to look at that picture, assume it's accurate, and then try to scroll through how many other posts, because there's so many people in our group, to try and figure out exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's one big takeaway I took up from this week.
What else? So as far as weight loss, like, I believe you lost what, 4 pounds?
Yeah, I went from because we're talking about beginning of July, right?
Or just in comparison this week?
Yeah, about 4 pounds. More to the fact that really lending itself to something you mentioned about nutrition being the primary focus versus training. When I stayed focused on nutrition, even when I hurt my foot and I wasn't working out, I noticed that my weight loss didn't stop; it just slowed down. So rather than go back up, I was just slowing down my weight loss, but it was still going down.
So, obviously, like, from the week before and all the issues that you were having, this is a much better week. So I'm really proud of the changes that you made, obviously. The issue and the problem with giving Rico sometimes credit for that is that he will justify that going into his next week as like almost like a scapegoat or like leeway for him to kind of ease off of the gas pedal, perhaps lose motivation as opposed to it fueling his drive. So instead of being like, man, I lost 4 pounds, I'm on track. For him personally, sometimes he starts to mentally shift to, well, I had a great week last week. I could kind of not do all the fundamentals that he needs to execute on in order to be successful. And the reason that I say that is I have coached him for almost 3 years now. And we're talking about he was close to 400. We got him all the way down to what, 320?
310.
So 310. And then, like he said, he had some time away from the group and the coaching, the accountability, which is fine. That's completely normal, to be honest with you. Um, when it comes to change, there's actually 5 steps, and relapsing is one of them. I didn't want him to be gone for that long or relapse for that long. As a coach, I try to control that relapse and plan ahead as a part of his progress. So for him to come back at this higher weight now at 353, and he'll tell you himself, he gained about 40, 50-ish pounds. Before he came back, he did some work to lose 10 pounds, so it wouldn't sound that bad.
I was trying to soften the blow, actually. I
Which is
really
fine.
was.
But at the end of the day, I have to be aware that that is something that we have to factor in. Um, my thing is that Rico knows what he has to do. Sometimes he kind of justifies not an excuse, but a reason to not do it. So he's constantly getting in his own way. Like, Rico knows exactly what it takes to lose all of this weight, and he's done it before. But because of that, it's almost like a superpower to him. So like if he takes a day or two off, he knows that he'll get back on track if he stays on pace and does everything he needs to do for the next 3 days. But the problem with that is that 2 steps forwards and 2 steps back leave us exactly in the same place. So my only issue with him personally is that we're going up and down and up and down. I would like to see us be a little bit more consistent, you know. But in
I think I
reality,
have been, but
and
again,
you have
mentally,
been.
that's how we do it sometimes. Big people have a habit of, like you said, we do really well for a little while and then we want to reward ourselves. But the problem is, we haven't established a discipline to reward ourselves incrementally. We just go ham. We'll eat a whole pizza. We'll eat 2 or 3 triple stack burgers. We'll do all that stuff. By the way.
But this is the thing, though. So if you're aware of that and you still do it, then that's a cause for concern. You
So I've
don't
been
need to
very careful with
overindulge that much, especially how hard you work. You're waking up at 4:30-ish in the morning to get workouts done. Don't throw away the hard work that you're putting in over something that's only going to give you very short-term satisfaction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When you overindulge on something like a triple cheeseburger, if that's inside of his targets and it fits his macros, like, I really don't care. But I have a problem with him just saying, fuck it, I'm not going to track it all today. I'm just going to let my goals be this and that, because then he does feel the remorse of that. He does understand, like, man, I've had so much progress. Why do I keep doing this to myself? And that starts to be demotivating. So in regards to him saying that he wants to have a triple cheeseburger or something like that, I know that's going to happen every now and then. You know, that's a part of it. How are we going to rebound from that? The issue sometimes with Rico is that if he takes that one day, he starts to be like, well, you know what, fuck it. The weekend's here. I might as well do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then just come back fresh Monday. Not understanding the hole that he's dug for himself. Then if he's dug that hole, he starts his Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of negatively. And if he's not getting the results because he just went too crazy over the weekend, it puts him in a mental mind state where he doesn't know if this is something that he wants to do. And then he starts to understand and go back to his old ways, which he's comfortable in. I think it's been a great idea for him to start this vlog series, not only to share his journey with anybody else, because there's no way that nobody else is going through this exact same thing. And that's what people like to watch, is how is somebody else getting inspired, because they could do it, they watch you do it, then they could do it, and then they'll inspire somebody else. But for Rico specifically, it's never been, and me too, I've never tried to be more disciplined. So like if I'm going into a situation where I have to go, maybe I am going to eat out at a restaurant or something like that, and I know it's not going to work well with my diet, rather than me become more disciplined, I try to create a more disciplined environment. So if I'm going to go eat sushi, right, ton of carbs, high fat, good amount of protein, I'll literally have like a 2 to 3 scoop protein shake. Me and him went to the movies the other day, just so I wouldn't try to eat popcorn and stuff like that. I had a protein bar. You know what I mean? So if you go into a sushi restaurant, and that's my favorite food, and I know that it's hard for me to control, or the same thing, like if I'm around a box of Oreos, I'm going to try to eat all of them. But if I create a more disciplined environment by drinking 2 to 3 scoops of protein, I literally am too full to mess up. Like, if I'm at a party, how am I going to be able to, like, if somebody offers me this and that, I'm literally going to only be able to eat about 20 to 30% of what I want. So rather than me getting hard on myself and being like, man, you fucked up again, you did this, you did that. No. Control the environment, understand the environment, and you'll be able to execute more efficiently. And it's just about understanding that. You know what I mean? And for me, Rico is very, very resourceful. Like, this dude is super smart. He's very successful in what he does, and that's because he's able to look at something in the big picture and understand the details of it and how to magnify those details to work for him. So when I see him so intelligent at certain other aspects, he uses that same strength against himself, because he'll use that reasoning to be like, that's why I need to not track right now. That's why I need to be there in this situation, and it's going to make it more enjoyable if I have a triple cheeseburger, which is not the case. You're not going to have more fun with your friends if you go outside of your targets. But I've something that I've reminded him as
That's
well.
debatable, but true.
Something I've reminded him as well is like, you weren't drafted. You asked for this mission.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, these are your goals. They're important to you. Figure it out. His targets are high enough. Especially before when he was going over, I was like, dude, every day is literally a cheat day for you. You could fit so much into your day. It was just lack of effort.
I definitely want to cut into that because I think that's a good thing for us to like start to talk about a little bit. Something that a lot of people get caught up in when it comes time to just lose weight is calories. That's all they want to focus on is calories, calories, calories. One of the biggest distinctions that I think he's made from other nutritional plans is that his focus is on macros and his focus is on balance. So, like today, for instance, I was actually able to fit pizza in my day. And I'm not worried about it. I had pizza, I weighed it out, and I even kind of overestimated exactly what the pizza would have been numbered-wise. I made it log as in sausage pizza, but it really was chicken pizza with cheese. So I'm pretty sure that with all that information that I have at my disposal, I was able to keep my numbers well within check. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's weigh-in. But can you see, well, you actually have how many people that are you're working with to try and become a little healthier?
Right now it's about 24. There's about 15 in your group, and then 9 other people that are like athletes that compete.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
How many people would you say are in the morbidly obese category? I would include myself in that category, even though I don't feel that way.
It's a good percentage. I mean, that correlates exactly to like where society is, just in general.
The only
They're
reason
more
I ask is, and this isn't any way to
people.
insult any of the people in my group, I'm not trying in any way to do that, but I always look at, he's brought it up before, as eating habits psychologically. We're conditioned to eat a certain way at a very young age. So we have to essentially break a habit that's existed in our life for 10, 20, in my case, almost 30 years. You mentioned the challenges that I face. Do you think those are similar challenges faced by other people, or do you think my challenges are more unique?
Man, food is very, it's deeper than that. There's something that's deeper to me, from my understanding and my experience of helping clients, that if somebody is overweight or even underweight, there is a lot bigger issue there, psychologically especially. We correlate a lot of emotions to food in our eating habits, sometimes whether it's our self-worth or out of pity, or sometimes even just celebrating stuff like that, you know what I mean? But to be able to eat what you want on the way to your goals is very empowering, and you start to remove a lot of that emotional aspect, especially anything that's negative, and that's only gonna help everybody else around you. So like, I know when I have a client and they lose like 20, 30, 70 pounds like you did, that there's a lot going on, not just inside of them, but inside of their household, the people that are inside of that household, especially children, which is something that, I mean, it's a very big issue. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer right now, and that is something that we can control. Same with lung cancer, and you could argue the same thing for cigarettes and things like that, but you're seeing a lot of early onset diabetes happening as young as 9 to 11 years old, and that's something that I feel that is a responsibility for us to address. And it starts with us, though.
Yeah. These are basically what our check-ins are supposed to be like. And I'll be very honest with everybody involved. I don't check in as much as I should.
Never.
In fact, this is my first one, to be honest with you.
This is his first check-in in like 3 years. It's usually me finding him at the gym.
Like, talking about it at
like,
the
where
gym.
the is your shit at?
And it's true. But you know what? He's tough. And that's a good thing, because I'm a stubborn-ass piece of shit sometimes. And
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm stubborn as hell,
No.
basically.
So this is what it is, though. I think you have to analyze the situation, and you have to understand that we need to work on the mental game, because again, my experience as a coach, that's where the real transformation occurs. Also, in my opinion, like, all diets work. You know, if you want to do low carb, keto, you want to do Atkins, you want to do paleo, you want to detox, well, I wouldn't recommend that, but all of those diets work. It's about adhering to them. How long can you adhere to that diet? If you're going on an extreme diet, for a month and you lose 8 pounds, but you only last a month, and then that next month you gain 12 pounds, you've actually gained 4 pounds. What we're trying to do is educate the client to understand nutrition fully so they can make better educated decisions long term for their lifetime. So I wouldn't consider this a diet. It would be more of just like a system of understanding what you're eating so you could create your own balance. If you love salads or vegetables and stuff like that, and that's your deal, then you're going to be able to adhere to that diet for a very long time because you love that stuff. Just like somebody else, like, yeah, maybe they like to eat chicken and seafood, but every now and then they want to have a burger or they want to eat some junk food, indulge in that stuff. If that is going to keep the client consistent for months on end, what would you rather have? Would you rather have somebody that loses 12 pounds in 4 weeks and then stops for 3 months, gains weight, comes back, does the exact same thing, except loses 15 pounds because now instead of a month, they're there for 6 weeks? Or would you rather have somebody that's slow and steady and consistent for the next 8 months straight, just slowly but surely reach their goal? My main concern is, again, the mental aspect. Are they having fun? Is the diet something that they enjoy, that they can adhere to?
Yeah. Sooner or later, me and him are going to also make a video about how we plan a day as far as food and meal prep goes. He actually has quite a few videos too. Do you have a YouTube page or an Instagram?
I don't have a YouTube page. I really should start to do that. It's just I get really big on the editing, and I just haven't had time, man.
He's a bit of a perfectionist, little OCD. Me, I'll just
I need to start
turn on the
that's
phone
on
and
me.
call a video.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, anyway, feel free to hit him up on Fitness Line if you want to message him. If you guys want me to give out his information, just message me and I'll let you know what's going on. But this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm able to stay focused.
But I also want to end this with the positives. As a coach, I think it's really important to address the things that we need to fix, but that we always end it on a positive note. So the good things that did happen this week is that he rebounded from all of the mistakes that he made the previous week before. So as opposed to him gaining 4 pounds to get back to 0 pounds gained, he actually lost another 4 pounds. So that's an 8-pound swing altogether in a matter of 14 days. On top of that, personally, I know that there's other varying factors. You know, life gets in the way for all of us. All of us face a lot of challenges. I am really proud of how he's handled that, as opposed to using it as a crutch or a reason why he can't stay on track. So those things are very positive. To me as a coach, I feel that if you could handle that, especially something that's just started happening, you'll be able to execute more fully as long as you keep doing the habits that you need to do.
I appreciate it, man. Talk to you guys later.
Do that.
That's perfect.
How has your water intake been?
What's that?
Your water.
Water, I think it's water fine, but water actually helps me a lot with hunger because it's just, I'm just flowing with water, you know?
Yeah.
And this way that keeps me awake and also, like, anxiety of food.
So what I would say for me, especially when my targets are low, I get hungry. What I like to do is have like a closing ceremonies, like the Olympics. What I do is I brush my teeth and I literally make it like a closing ceremonies in my head. That's it for today. And then anything else that I'm gonna have is just straight water. You know, that hasn't been an issue for us. Your discipline has been like 100% this entire time. I'm not worried about that. But what about the cardio?
Cardio's fine. I say the cardio so that I don't feel like long time to do the cardio, like 20 minutes, and
Yeah.
then later on do 50 minutes, so it's okay with me.
So right now, what level is it at? A 7 or a 6?
9?
Damn.
Yeah.
You're not dying?
No.
All right, so we're gonna increase it to a 10.
I'm already increasing it from last week, so from 8 to 9, so I'm planning to increase it like on Thursday to 10.
Okay, that's fine.
So,
That puts us right on pace with our check-in.
yeah.
So, are you okay with the new targets that I assigned to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I mean, that's pretty much it, man. We're gonna wait to see how the weight responds, and then we'll check in again here on Thursday, and then we'll make one really aggressive push before you leave here to start to get even more of the body fat off. But I mean, you're pretty damn lean already. We're just gonna start to ramp it up a little bit. That's all.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, just keep you updated. So I need to get back up right now, or my man is gonna get mad. But yeah.
Do you have any questions for me about anything?
No, I keep you updated. Okay?
All right, man.
Okay. See you,
All
man.
right, take care.
See you guys.
Take care, man. Thanks a lot. All right, some of you might have just got finished watching a video of basically a check-in between me and my trainer Don. What I didn't talk about, and we'll talk about right now, is how we met. He used to work for T-Mobile, and during the course of our conversations there, he found out that I was trying to lose weight. He didn't really say anything at first, but then one day he walks in the back and I'm eating some cheese fries. And he's like, "What are you doing? I thought you said you were trying to lose weight." And I'm like, "Dude, I am trying to lose weight. I'm on MyFitnessPal. It's telling me I got like 400 carbs, like 200 fat, and like 120 protein. And I looked up some stuff that I can have that is high fat and high carb, and it said cheese fries." So he looks at it and he says, "Damn, dude, you know what?" And he's just like, "Come with me if you want to live." Like, he just straight up told me that. It was a funny ass Arnold Schwarzenegger moment, man, but it's the truth. That's how we started working out together and training together, and that's the moment that our friendship really started to blossom. But that's just, my story with my trainer. We don't all get to have those moments. As far as my day-to-day goes, I had my kids today, so I had to make breakfast fun. So I made Fruity Pebble pancakes. I thought they were delicious. My daughter thought they were delicious. My son thought they were delicious. But I got to be careful, though, because the way I'm cooking my food to hit my numbers. And these are kids. So their nutritional intake doesn't need to be like mine. So I have to make sure that when I'm making them food, I'm a little more cautious about how I cook my food and how much protein and how much other stuff is in there. I was able to fit pizza into my day because of the way I cooked my breakfast. And it's not easy to log in chicken pizza. It really isn't, because the pizza I got was chicken, was mushrooms, was jalapenos. So I logged in sausage cheese pizza. Now, I know that wasn't accurate, but I did it so that I can overestimate the numbers, which is something that you're going to want to try to do if you know you're going to be going a little bit crazy. You want to overestimate your numbers so that you give yourself that margin for error, especially if you don't have the exact information available to you. You got to estimate. You want to give yourself that nice little margin just in case. So that's what's going on right now. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's weigh-in. Looking forward to finally going back to the gym. Last couple days I've been taking it really easy because my foot's been hurting. It still hurts now. It's probably gonna still hurt tomorrow, but I gotta start getting back in the gym because it's necessary for me. I feel like I'm missing something if I don't go to the gym. And even though I know that my biggest focus needs to be nutrition, it feels good to go into the gym. As a guy, and as a woman too, I imagine, it's just something about going into the gym and just working up a good sweat. I need to still have that.